What is up, guys and gals? Welcome on back to the Nerdcastle for the next episode of The Long Dark, where I am frying up some of that meat. It actually became kind of a desperate situation. I didn't realize how low, or the durability of the meat is really, really low. Like, somebody's just been pounding this meat the last day or two, and that somebody is Father Winter or Christmas or whatever you want to call him. Lady Winter. Oh, I like that one better. That one sounds nicer. I like Lady Winter. It makes me happy. So anyways, you got to cook this stuff up so that it resets the durability bar on every single piece of this meat. I do hope that at some point they add like a jerking station or something like that where you can start smoking and working on this kind of stuff. Make it last a little bit longer, maybe at the cost of the amount of calories it gives you. Like, it'll drop it down to a 500 calorie per kilo allotment, but at the same time, it'll last pretty much forever. I don't know. It'd be nice. I mean, the meat doesn't go bad that quickly anyways, so it's not something that needs to be added to the game like right this second. I tried to throw coal into the fire, but it didn't work out. He's been looking at me weird lately, and he's generally been questioning all of my motives, and so I said, Cole, I'm throwing you in the fire right now. That's what you're getting. Throwing you into the fire, that is the punishment. At least I'm not putting you in a big brass bowl or something like that. Not being uber terrifying about it. Got a lot of water tabs. Man, it's going to be tough to decide what I'm going to bring with me. If indeed, if the next map is... Well, anyways, what I'm trying to say right now, if we go to the next map and we get trapped in that zone, picking and choosing what I'm going to bring with me is going to be very, very difficult. Apparently the venison restores way more calories than I thought it did. We got that all handled and taken care of. I don't suppose there's any lantern fuel laying around here. Yeah, no, maybe. Take that torch real fast. Get it lit. If there's any lantern fuel around here, it needs to present itself right now to me so that I can know that it exists. And I can say, hey, I have tabulated your existence on my particular stock charts. Thank you. I now know that you exist. You are the best. You'd be like, oh, thank you. That's very nice of you. I think with the saplings I have right now, I can make some arrows and some other stuff. But I actually don't see anything that useful in here. We got a couple of flares. I mean, we bring those along if we're going to the next zone. I don't know if I should go to the next zone right now. It's pretty cold outside. It's a little bit nasty. It was not looking so good. Why are you doing this to me here? We gotta go back to this menu, I think. There. Now it won't do that. I've still got that same... It's not like a bug. I don't know what it is, but the UI, like, shifts around every single time I try to drop something, and it annoys me, and so I've been trying not to do it. I might take some of these birch saplings and whatnot. Let's take those up top, this maple and birch, and see what we can do with it on the crafting bench. Because I don't think we're going to be able to get out of here until tomorrow, unfortunately. It's looking like we might have our hands tied as far as timing and weather permit. And so in today's episode, what I'd like to accomplish is I'd like to cut left, take a look, and make sure that if I go through the ravine, I can actually get back over here. Look for any dead zones, you know what I mean? Areas where I'm dropping off of anything or something like that. I think I know where it is. I think it's on the opposite end of the ravine where there's like the log that goes across the chasm. I think you drop off the log at the other side, which means that you can't get back, but I'd still like to have a look just to verify before I do anything else. We can make an old man's beard wound dressing. Yeah, do it. If we got time. I mean, there you go. What does that have? Torch it takes. Kerosene to make a torch? Really? I had no idea. So for the bow, panning and scanning through here. For a survival bow, we need 2 cured gut, and we need a cured maple sapling. For arrows, we need birch saplings. Oh, so they actually require different types of wood in order to get it done. Okay, well, use the birch saplings then. We'll go ahead and sand those out and take care of them. It's going to get real dark in here before it gets better. Sorry about that. Go ahead and take both of those. I want to get as much done right now as I can. I don't think we're going to need too many more arrow shafts to get the job done, but if I can mash out a couple of arrows right now, it takes an hour and a half to make one arrow? Really? Huh. That's a pretty big time expenditure for something you're only going to get to use like once, maybe. I don't know what the chance is for it to break, so I've never played around with the bow. It's something that I've never created inside the context of the game. And so I'm not really so sure how that's going to work. We'll test it out. I mean, obviously I'll fire an arrow at something. It's probably enough to kill a rabbit. Don't know if it's enough to kill off a wolf. An arrow, I think, would just be a minor annoyance for a big dog. Depending on where you hit him with it, it might make him run away. But I think it's probably just going to make him madder, and it just comes down to how fast can you fire an arrow. Typically, when you were fighting or trying to hunt dangerous stuff back in ye olden days when they were shooting with bows and whatnot, you brought a lot of dogs. that was how you offset the risk, is by bringing a ton of dogs with you so that the dogs got mauled instead of you or the people you love getting mauled. Do I need a fire today? I don't even know if I need a fire today. Our character's just kind of tired right now, so long as we can hold it together. Wow, those didn't take any durability damage while I was outside? Good. Absolutely fantastic. Go ahead and harvest those, too. We got plenty of time in front of us, so I'd rather accomplish something rather than just, like, wasting time sleeping. And so there we go. We got a little bit of leather out of there. We've got the arrow shafts that we needed. They don't weigh that much, which is nice. I'll try and get some of the cured gut to go soon. I mean, it's kind of, we're on kind of a TBD time schedule right now, so it'll work out okay, I promise. Rest for about 6 hours. Just keep our eye on the prize. Tomorrow we're going to take our trip to the left, see what's out there in the ravine, and verify if, in fact, you can or cannot get back. If you can't get back, that kind of leaves us in a sticky situation, and not one that I'm stoked about, because we have so many resources on this side of the bridge that it seems like a waste to me to leave it all behind. We spent all this time scavenging it, and then we're just like, what, not going to use it? You know what I mean? And so anyways, I'd like to bring it all with me, if at all possible, but if it's not going to work like that, I guess it's not going to work like that. I mean, one thing that I would like to try is maybe to throw stuff across the ravine. I'd love that to be a feature where you could actually take some of the stuff you have and throw it across so that you didn't have to actually step down and drop it on the opposite side of that log. I think we also left a bunch of stuff laying in the middle of the railroad tracks back there that I needed to pick up as well. I think it was like a lantern and some other little stuff that we should probably go back and handle. Old man's, okay, so that's pretty cool. It looks like it will prevent infection and also handle bleeding. It's a 2-for-1, and if there's one thing I know, it's that I like a twofer. So it's time to determine exactly what I want to bring along with me here for this trip, because it might get cold, it might get a little nasty. Let me reorganize everything again. Wow, I have a lot of cattail stalks. Probably should have eaten those. I mean, the other thing that I might lean towards is the creation of wolfskin stuff and just see what we can finish over here before we go. If we could get to the point where we could stay out during a storm, I'd be like, oh, yeah, that's super awesome. Give me a high five, bro. And it would make me happy, but I guess is the point that I'm trying to express right now. Sometimes I'm just not very good at expressing myself, and I'm sorry for that. Please don't judge me about it. I'll go, okay, judge me if you want. Just don't say anything about it. You can judge me as much as you desire, I guess. That actually doesn't hurt my feelings that much. With the antiseptic, that's cool. It's your favorite family member, antiseptic. Nobody likes her. She's a little bit toxic. I'll probably leave the tools here, too. It seems like a waste to bring those. Alright, let's turn this off real fast. Actually, I'll turn it off once I get upstairs. I need lantern fuel, like, really, really badly. I think it's time for us to make either a run back to the lodge and bring back whatever we can, or we can go to the left. And I'm thinking I want to go to the left first. If that works, we'll come back here, we'll resupply, we'll get our warmth back. Then we'll try to cut out to the east for a little bit, grab all the supplies from there we can to bring them on back to here. I'll probably go the back way around the lake because it's a little bit less wolf-infested. Its canine situation is a little bit less dense, and so I would prefer that. Ooh, I think the deer meat probably went bad, all that deer meat that was left over. When I took it off the corpse, it only had like 4% left in it anyways. God damn, we cannot just catch a break right now. I don't know why they changed the weather of this map. It is like so stormy and shitty here, like all the time. It's like almost impossible to get anything done. The weather is just so gnarly all day, every day. Like this is what, like the 6th day in a row that we've had a storm? Like it just never stops. Let's put this away. I'm going to go to the left, I think. I think I'm going to go to the left. I find that to be a little bit more satisfactory. We are going to be losing warmth here, and unfortunately our new boots are not going to insulate us to that fact. Let's go have a look at this over here. I assume this is probably something that I could Google, but being the fact that I'm in the middle of an episode right now, and plus, I don't know, Googling stuff about the long dark in general does not return that great of information for me. I've Googled several things, and most of the time it's like half information. I'm kind of like, okay, well that sort of helps, but not really. I don't think there's any wind chill here. Yeah, I mean, it's just minus 18 right now, so it's just pretty damn cold, all things considered. I think I'll probably try and grab fire supplies while I'm over here too. Anything that's laying around would actually be really, really satisfactory. Grab some sticks because I'm almost out of fire supplies back at the dam. And sticks can actually turn into an amazing way to keep a fire going, weirdly enough. Turn out pretty well for you if you manage to collect like 30, 40 of them at a time and then you just drop them 7 minutes per. You can stack yourself up on all kinds of time. I will more than likely... I don't think there's anything back in here by this waterfall. Unless they've modified the map recently. Might be worth a look. That's weird. It won't let me walk back across. There we go. Go back around this way. I figure if we're out here, we might as well explore, have a good time, and take a look at stuff. Kind of hit things that I normally would just ignore because we're on objective trying to get things finished. Supplies are all looking good. Our coldness is not dropping off altogether that quickly. I'm a little bit worried about that deer meat back in the previous map. I don't want it to go bad. It's a huge waste to shoot something and then not take anything from it. Can't get those bullets back once those slugs have been fired. It's it. You don't see it no more. Water's still running off on this side. What would be really cool is if you could collect water right here without having to melt it off. How sick would that be? If you could come up to the water real fast and just like gather it, essentially. Kind of a cool supply thing that you could do. I also figure it'd be cool if you could actually chip through the ice and take lake water out from underneath. You'd still have to boil it. Like, it should still count as dirty water, but it's better than having to start a fire every single time that you want to do it. That's obviously flowing water right there, so... Then again, I guess you could make the argument that you're going to have to start a fire and boil it anyway, so boiling it off and melting it. Might as well do both tasks at the same time. A little rabbit over there. This might be an area that you could trap in if you get real lucky. It looks like the weather's getting better, so we might get to spend an entire day out in the glorious majesty birch bark. I don't know if that's a tinder or what that is. Probably tinder. Be my guess. Not a lot of birch trees around here. We got a lot of manzanita trees around here, though. Loads and loads of manzanitas. Native Americans used to use them to cure fevers. Or at least you would sit somebody. So manzanita trees, I don't know if you have manzanita trees where you live. Anyways, manzanita trees are always cold. They can be in direct sunlight and they'll still feel kind of cool compared to the air temperature. I don't know why that is. I've never looked up scientifically why manzanita trees tend to be cooler than other trees. When you touch the trunk or the branches, they tend to be very, very cold. And so anyways, Native Americans, if somebody had a fever, you would lean them up against a manzanita tree shirtless so that the cool would touch their back and it would kind of disperse into their veins and kind of lower the water. I don't know if people know that or not, but you can do that. If you're out in the wild, for example, and it's very, very hot, a lot of people will like make their hat wet or something like that, but the better way to do it is to take a bandana, get it wet, and put it around your carotid artery. Or put it around your jugular vein, I'm sorry. You put it around your jugular vein on your neck. So you wrap it around, not tightly, so that you're like, oh, I can't breathe, oh my god! Asphyxiation is happening right this second. But anyways, I don't know why I said carotid. You put it around your neck, okay, so that it's touching the front part of your neck where like your throat is and everything like that. And that, actually, because it's one of the largest veins in your body, the coolness will disperse into your bloodstream, sort of. So by contact, it'll lower the temperature of your blood a little bit. It'll actually make you perceive that it's actually cooler out. I do it all the time when I'm out in the field, and it works wonders, especially on those days when it's like 111, 112. It's, I mean, I still get my hat wet, too. And honestly, what we used to do is we used to bird bath up on roofs when I was a roofer, and it was like 111, 112. We would have an entire extra water jug that was just for, like, hosing people down. And so once it started to get hot at, like, maybe 9 or 10 in the morning, you'd bird bath it. You'd throw water all over yourself so that you'd be drenched. And then you work for a little while, and you give it like an hour, hour and a half, and you'd be dry again. Rinse and repeat, and that'll get you through the day. I mean, you got to do what you got to do when you're in a really, really hostile situation like that. I don't look back on my roofing situation fondly, but I do count it as a testament for what a human body can take if you really, like, put it to the task. I think it's probably going to get cooler. I think it's probably going to get warmer today, so we might be in good shape. There's a whole bunch of rabbits over here, which would make for a decent trapping area. Might as well. I need food anyways. It's going to take us an hour and 12. Get after it. Hopefully the temperature will get better before anything else goes wrong. Yeah, and so the temperature did indeed get better. We're a little bit hungry right now, and I got a bunch of food on me. I probably should have left some of this on the floor, to be fair. Oh, we really don't have that much water with me. That might cut my trip a little bit short. Because we're walking into the wind right now, we're going to be slowed down a little bit. Walking into the wind in general is a bad idea in this game. But, oh, look, there's another one over here. Goody, goody gumdrops. Still think it's pretty important for us to take a look at this ravine over here and make sure that it's something that we can utilize later before we transfer on out. Looks like we had windshield there for a second, but if I get up the hill here, there it is right there. So yeah, it actually looks like that might not be accessible. I'm gonna go get a closer look at it real fast. That might be a wise decision. Are we winded yet? I'm trying to make sure that I don't end up winded and far from home. Would suck. If I go back over and around this way, it should give us a pretty good view of this guy over here. Hey, there's a dead guy. How's it going, dead guy? Go and check the corpse real fast, because who even knows? Looks like we got skunked right there, which is unfortunate. It always sucks to be the guy who gets skunked. Nobody wants to get skunked. Skunked is a fishing term. And getting skunked is super weak, because it means everybody else caught something and you didn't. You were the bad luck guy that trip. Taking a look right here. No, we can go back from right there. Looks like you can loop back around. I don't know why somebody said that then. I don't know. Somebody left a comment that you can't get back once you transfer zones. But it looks like you can get back. Like you just have to go around the side and go up and over that train car right there. I don't recall if that train car was there to begin with. Maybe back in the day you couldn't get back once you transferred over. So that does ease my mind a little bit, and it means that we are going to be able to get some exploration done in the future. For right now, I might put out some snares so that we can catch some rabbits in the neighboring zones. It doesn't seem like a terrible plan to me. I'm also going to stick close to these trees, although I don't think it's helping that much. Kind of get out of the way of the wind and I'd be happier. Probably grab sticks along the way too. It's never the wrong time in life to play pickup sticks. Sometimes you got to be jovial and happy about things instead of just being sad all the time. What does that weigh? 0.5? I'll probably use it for kindling or something. I hope it's really, really flammable. That would be the best. I love things that are flammable. They make me happy. It's over here. While we're on the subject, I see a little inlet on this side. Is it where I came from? Or is it some little tucked-in location with a cave that we might be able to explore? They've added a lot of stuff since the last time I played. Even on some of the maps that I knew about, it seems like there's a few new features and like little things that you can play around with if you didn't know about them. And another frozen dead deer over here, if you're into that sort of action, which you should be because venison will keep you alive. Looks like we got a cave over here. Whether or not it's going to be an advantageous cave or one that's merely in the way, we will find out shortly, but looks like there ain't nothing but a little bit of extra firewood in here. Little bit of cedar. We're pretty hungry at the moment. I'm sorry, we're pretty thirsty at the moment. So figuring out what we're going to do about our water situation is probably what we need to focus on for right now. So that's what I'm going to do. I don't know if this will lead back around to where I want to go. I'm not going to bring the cedar firewood. It doesn't strike me as being that useful right now. I'll probably weave back around this way. And this should cut back along the side. I think we have to cross the river first. But, oh, look at that. There's 2 harvest points for wood, so that'll be good. Does anybody know whether those trunks right there are the large limbs that you harvest for actual real amounts of wood? Does anybody know if those respawn? I assume that they do, since they just like fall off trees and whatnot. They need to extend if they're actually going to make you walk slower based on being in the wind. They should make it so that if you line up with the wind behind a tree like this, it should cancel that out. Just saying, it'd be useful. Oh, there's no wolf over here. Doesn't look like this wall is helping me out much either. So we have to get back up and around there. Actually, it looks like we can just cut this way. That's fine. Walking slow. Yay! If you walk with the wind, though, I think you go a little bit faster. Just things to keep in mind. Every curse is a blessing in disguise, he said, knowing full well that someone's going to contradict him in the comments and be like, that doesn't seem right to me. I could think of many situations in my life where that is absolutely not true, and now I am going to post them down below in multiple paragraph form, also alluding to the fact that you are stupid. Haha, welcome to the internet. I'm like, oh man, there goes another piece of my self-esteem I'll never get back. Fell off. Why do I feel like I'm falling through the earth right now? I think I might be clipping through that train track right there. It's just being weird. You know, honestly, yeah, we're winded right now. Maybe tomorrow I'll go back to the lodge over there and we'll see what else we can scavenge and bring back with us. I mean, at least we're not freezing to death. That's always pretty cool. I like not freezing to death, so that turns out to be a situation that I think I find myself in agreement with. I'd like to start working on the wolf fur cloak, too, but it's taking forever to cure off those wolf hides. I think it takes like 4 or 5 days, and I'm not even sure how much of it we've actually accomplished. There should be a wolf corpse over here. Huh, it's gone. Weird. I don't know if I took everything off of it. I must have. What are you doing on temperature right now? I think I'd rather not take the chance with water. I should have brought more with me. I'll dump some of this stuff off inside, and then we'll go back to the lodge over there and see if maybe I can wrangle a few more matches. I'm getting a little bit worried about our match supply. That's one of the little things that's been lingering in the back of my mind that I've been like, maybe I should get on that pretty soon, but still just like haven't. Meh. It's a minor concern until it becomes a major concern and you can't see anymore. It's one of the things I dislike most about the dam, in fact, is that I just can't see. It's very, very dark inside of here. I suppose I could cheese mode it and just make like the brightness higher, but it looks like you can't do that either, I don't think, so it's just gonna be pitch black in here and there's nothing you can do about it. I'd love to see them put in some kind of simulated system. Not much fuel left, but hopefully enough to get me lined up the way that I need to. On all the way back over here. We haven't found one of those big kerosene canisters neither, which is a little bit disappointing. Usually you find a couple of like the big green ones before you make it too far into the game, and you can just kind of nurse off those as you need it. So since we're not going to have daylight for much longer, I'm going to go ahead and dump off all of the... Oh, I did it again. Son of a bitch, I hate that bug. I hate it so much. That is a really, truly obnoxious bug. Got a lot of bark. It can be used as tinder. That's what I figured. That is what I figured. We will drop you. I'll probably use sticks to start a fire in just a minute. We'll cook up the remainder of this meat, and that'll be today's episode. My name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me here at the Nerd Castle for the next episode of The Long Dark. I will see you all in future episodes. I realize the last few have been a tiny bit mundane just because there's no real call for us to jump into the next zone yet. But at the same time, it's like we've scavenged everything here. We've got lots of supplies here. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff that we can use this as a supply base running back and forth, but it's such a long walk in between here and the next zone, especially since we can't rely on the weather, that it's not going to be reliable. I mean, I can't even get back to the ski lodge right now most days without having to fight a horde of wolves and also, you know, not collect any of their parts and things like that. And so they've definitely made the weather a bit more hostile since the last time I played. It's difficult to deal with. I'm going to add a bunch of fuel right there. Let that burn. I'll see y'all next time. Hi to everybody.